welcome to Mexico,
Thank you
Satya.
so much.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. It's fantastic to be back here in Mexico and in Mexico City. And one thing that is clearly marked all my visits to Mexico has been this palpable sense of energy, the entrepreneurial spirit and enthusiasm for the opportunity that is ahead. And that's what I want to talk about. And if you think about the opportunity with digital technology becoming so much more pervasive in every walk of life, across every sector of our economy, there has been no time like this. In fact, you could say that computing is getting embedded in our world. It's no longer the case that we go to computers. Computers are just part of what we do, how we drive our economies, how we drive our societies. Every home, every workplace, every stadium, every factory has got computing embedded in it. Every industry, whether it's oil and gas or retail or financial services, is being transformed because of computing. They're all becoming tech industries. Everything, whether it's the automobile, the oil rig, the refrigerator, or a piece of machinery, is all becoming a computer. So that's the opportunity, that's the world. In fact, we describe it as the era of intelligent cloud and intelligent edge, where computing is ubiquitous. AI is being infused into everything. And the experience that we have with computers is becoming much more natural, because in some sense, what is virtual and what is analog, what is digital and analog are getting mixed. That's the world in front of us. Now, for us, this opportunity is what grounds us in our mission. Our mission to empower every person and every organization. But it starts, though, by thinking about how can every country and every company prosper in this age of digital technology. And it comes down to what I describe as tech intensity. Now, this is a very simple formula. Whether it's a country or a company, the thing that you have to get right is how can you get the best world-class input, which is in most cases a commodity. You want to be able to get a commodity input which is world-class, and then you want to create more world-class technology on top of it. That's it. In fact, there have been these longitudinal studies around diffusion of technology that have been done, and across different industrial revolutions. And countries and companies or organizations that have gotten this right have gone on to prosper, their citizens have gone on to prosper, their industries have become more competitive. And if you get that formula wrong, where you're, for example, wasting a lot of time recreating the wheel when you can get a commodity input, or you're not putting that great human capital that is there in Mexico to work on the things that are uniquely competitive advantage of Mexico. So that's really what tech intensity comes down to. And so our mission is to really help every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more by driving this tech intensity. That's our goal. There are a couple of key things for us, right? This is just not a set of words, but they guide the everyday decision making in the company, everyday behavior in the company. For example, we think about people, but we think about institutions, organizations people create to even outlast their tenure inside that organization. To us, when we think about our software, we think about institutions and organizations as first-class constructs so that you all can go on to use products and services, build your own products and services to build institutional strength. We, of course, think about this at a global scale, but with local impact. And lastly, perhaps most importantly, it's not about celebrating our technology. In fact, in our own business model, if we don't ensure that there is success all around us, there's surplus all around us, whether it's a student writing a term paper, a small business becoming more productive, a large multinational company out of Mexico becoming more globally competitive, the public sector institutions becoming more efficient. Unless those outcomes are realized, we are not going to be successful. So that's why helping partner deeply with customers so that they can achieve more is also critical for Microsoft. So in this era of the intelligent cloud, intelligent edge, we're building out a set of solution areas, how to drive a modern way for people to collaborate, communicate, and work. How you can have much more modular business process automation. How you can have your infrastructure that is available to you for all of your application needs. How to, in fact, harness the power of data and create AI. I want every company to become an AI-first company. These are the solutions that we are building. And ultimately, the goal of these solutions is to drive these digital transformation outcomes. Because ultimately, all of us are looking for technology as tools to help us better engage with customers, to help us empower the people inside of our own companies and organizations so that they can collaborate, communicate, and move our organization forward. We want to optimize all of our operations and also change the very nature of the products, services, and the business model. So those are the digital transformation outcomes. So ultimately, it's these solutions that are built for this era of intelligent cloud, intelligent edge to drive digital transformation. Now, just to kind of give you a bit of flavor for what's the technology underneath this, let's start, in fact, with this application and infrastructure. We are building out Azure as essentially the world's computing fabric. There are 54 data center regions around the world. In fact, if you take the cable that is there between all the regions, you can go up to the moon and back 3 times. And so that's the amount of computing power that is just available for every developer, every organization in Mexico to be able to tap into. Now, we're not stopping with just the data centers that we build. In fact, for us, distributed computing is going to remain distributed. So one of the most exciting things of the cloud is what's happening at the edge of the cloud. So we are extending from the cloud to the edge. We are the only company that has Azure, Azure Stack, Azure IoT, and Azure Sphere. In fact, there's something like 9 billion microcontrollers that are getting embedded in the world. And this silicon design, a secure operating system, and a management and security service that comes with Azure Sphere is helping us build this one digital infrastructure fabric for distributed computing with consistency in identity, consistency in management, security. So that's really what Azure is all about. Now, of course, when you have this rich compute fabric, the thing that you want to do is really use it to harness the power of data and AI. And Microsoft has been doing research for 25 plus years, fundamental research, right? This is not just about applied research or R&D. This is core breakthroughs in computer science. Just in the last multiple years, some amazing milestones have been achieved. Using the techniques of deep neural networks, the availability of data and compute power have led. In fact, in 2016, Microsoft was the first company to achieve human parity on object recognition, right, in the ImageNet competition. And then in 2017, we achieved the same thing with the switchboard competition with speech recognition. And just last year, we achieved 2 other big milestones. One was in machine reading and comprehension in the Stanford Q&A test. The fact that now you can have computers really read a passage and start answering questions with human parity. And lastly, with machine translation, so that you can have language translation. These are just stunning, amazing breakthroughs. When I studied computer science in grad school,